gonna try this again. Let me just make sure everything's up and working fine. Okay, I can see myself. Hopefully you guys can see me. Hopefully everything is working just fine. For you who were here at the 3 o'clock live that failed massively, I am so sorry. We typically have no internet issues and our internet just went out completely. We had some storms roll in. I don't know if it was that. It typically doesn't cause it, but it is what it is. So here we are, we're back. And I was so excited to walk you through how to make Instant Pot burritos, or burritos using the Instant Pot. We're gonna show you what it looks like now that they've cooked. I'm gonna walk you through the process again. Please ask any questions, comments. We're here to chat. But again, I'm so sorry. I'm so grateful for those of you who are joining in again. And let's recap this. So, my son is home from college this week, and one thing that I love to do is send him back to school with a freezer full of food. It just helps ensure that he's eating better, certainly better than cafeteria food, and then he's not honestly just getting takeout all the time too. So this is a great thing I love to do, but this is a great thing to prep for yourself at home as well. So I often make double or triple what I'm making my son so that we can have some here at home as well to make our lunches easier, to make dinners easier, etc., etc. So you guys voted for burritos. I've also made chili this week and froze that so he could take some back and we can have some. I made his favorite meatballs. That's in the recipe description as well. And we also made lemon bread. There's no lemon bread to take back. It's gone already, but you know. So anyways, for the burrito bowls though, typically my recipe for Instant Pot Burrito Bowls is made with an onion, jalapeno, some salsa. My son's super picky. So these burritos are for him, and I made them with just 1 pound of diced boneless, skinless chicken breasts, seasoned it up with a little bit of homemade taco seasoning. That recipe's in the link too. And I sauteed the chicken until it was a little bit browned, just to give it a little bit of texture, help it to cook. Then we added in 1 cup of chicken stock, scraped up the bottom of the inner pot, added in 1 cup of rinsed rice, cooked for 3 minutes on high pressure. If you wanted to add salsa for a little bit more flavor, you would add that on top of your rice. That's it. Then we let it cook for 3 minutes with the natural pressure release, and I'm back here to show you how it's done, how we put this together. So, Instant Pot's open. You can see here it's all cooked up. So anytime that I cook rice, I like to fluff it with a fork. Just keeps the grains intact instead of using a spoon, which can make it a little bit mushy. But at this point, these would be pretty boring burritos, right? Just chicken and rice. I mean, that's great if that's all you like, but I do want to add in a few things here. So I have 1 can of black beans that have been drained and rinsed. You can use pinto beans, you could use red beans, and I have 1 can of corn that's been drained and rinsed as well. Frozen corn works too. Whatever you have, whatever you like, dump that in to the inner pot. And then one thing I do always recommend is to grate the cheese yourself. I'm all about taking shortcuts and using time-saving techniques. But grating the cheese yourself is more economical, really. It's typically a lot cheaper, and it helps the cheese to melt smoothly because bagged cheese is coated in anti-caking agents. And so it just can prevent the cheese from a smooth, creamy melt. And if we're gonna have cheese, we want that smooth, creamy melt, right? This is sharp white cheddar. You can use any cheese you like, Colby, cheddar, Monterey Jack, pepper jack would be delicious if you wanted a little bit of spice added in. Okay, so if you're here, I'd love to know where you are. Clearly, we're having rain here today in Charleston. We had a beautiful, beautiful sunny day yesterday, about 78 degrees. It was gorgeous. A little colder by the water, felt a little cold as that ocean breeze came off, but other than that, we tried to go for a walk and I was like, well, it doesn't feel like 78 degrees at the beach. It felt more like 60 degrees, which is still beautiful. But anyways, today, rain is moving in and it's kind of cold and not really my favorite. So, to this burrito bowl here, or burritos filling, burrito bowl, burrito filling, whatever you want, however you want to serve it. I've added in the cheese, some corn, some black beans, but the ingredient that's gonna take it over the top is the lime zest and the lime juice. 1 second. Get my two little trusty tools here. I have a microplane, and this is a washed lime. And what the lime zest does is just wakes up all the flavors, gives it this nice, bright citrus flavor. My son loves anything lemon or lime too. And then we're gonna cut this open and add the juice of the lime. So one tip, when you're working with limes, you can roll it on the counter. I don't know if you can see me doing that. Just a little bit, like you just roll it on the counter to get the juices flowing. Pop it in the microwave for 20 to 30 seconds. That'll really get those juices going. These are limes from my little lime tree, which I like to say I'm so proud of because if you know me, you know that I can't grow anything, but I'm not really allowed to touch the lime trees. It's my husband's, and so these are his little treasures. In fact, he won't even let me pick the limes off the tree. I have to avoid it because he's afraid I'm gonna harm the lime tree. It's not my strength. So I'm gonna add the lime juice here. Again, this is just gonna brighten it up. And those fresh limes are so, so juicy. They taste the same, but the juice, the level of juice that comes off of the limes from our little lime tree, wow. I have to say, I'm impressed. I'm gonna give that a stir here, just to incorporate all those flavors. And another addition to this that would be delicious would be like salsa verde. If you didn't really like regular salsa, that would be great. Again, I'm keeping this pretty simple and I don't want an overly watered down filling because we're gonna freeze these. And so how I'm gonna do that, let me show you here. Get a little space to work. Move that stuff out of the way. I have some large flour tortillas here that have been warmed up. And that one just is broke, that's nice. That'll be mine. I eat everything that's broken and not pretty and then serve the other stuff to everybody else. So I have some flour tortillas here that I've warmed up. And what you would do is, let me show you. You get a big spoon here and just take some of this mixture. Let me show you the mixture, what it looks like right now. Again, you can make this with ground beef. Like you can make it vegetarian if you like too. If you're using ground beef, start by browning up a pound of ground beef before you would add in your rice and liquid. Deglaze with liquid first, obviously. And then proceed with the recipe. So I have that filling there. I'm gonna kind of move the camera down here just a little bit so you can watch me roll this. So how you roll a burrito so that it stays together is you kind of think of it like an envelope. Fold the sides in and then tuck up the bottom and tuck and roll, just like that. So you can see there, it's nice and rolled. Then what I like to do is place it on a sheet pan, but we should line this with parchment paper so that the burritos don't stick to this pan here. So let me do that. Get a piece of parchment paper, doesn't have to be perfect, and then you can pop your burrito on your parchment paper, and then once you make a sheet pan of these, pop them in the freezer and let them get a flash freeze, so become flash frozen. And that just means to leave them there for about 45 minutes to an hour so that they can all be placed into a storage bag and not stick together. So you can pull out as many as you need at a time, and then you can reheat them in the microwave. You can let them defrost overnight in the refrigerator. A lot of times when I'm making lunches for my daughter, I just pull one from the freezer the night before. I always make lunch when I'm cleaning up from dinner, or my daughter will make her lunch when she's cleaning up from dinner. So she can grab leftovers, or she can grab something out of the freezer, pop it in the fridge, so that in the morning she just throws it in her lunch with an ice pack, and it's perfect to go. She doesn't mind eating it cold. So, but obviously you can warm it up, and heating it in the air fryer is great. You can crisp it up, or in a little bit of olive oil, like in a skillet, some oil just to give it a nice crisp. The big thing to remember is you can fill it with anything, but you don't want your filling to be super wet so that your tortillas don't get soggy. Nobody likes soggy tortillas. And you also want to not overfill your burrito filling so that it doesn't, like, just kind of explode there. So again, you want to tuck and roll. Tuck in the sides, fold in the sides, tuck up the bottom, and then roll tightly. Just like that. Forgot to cancel on my Instant Pot, so you're still keeping it warm, which was fine. Typically, you want to let this cool down a little bit, but it's fine. So one thing I do when I'm sending these off to my son, or when I'm packing them for my daughter for school lunches, I like to send them with a little bit of avocado mash, or just send some with him to school so that they have some fresh toppings for these. You could put a little thing of salsa, some avocado, a little thing of sour cream. We love fresh burritos with lettuce and tomato. Well, my son doesn't like the tomato, but the rest of us do. Lettuce, tomato, avocado, cilantro, all the things. But those fresh toppings don't really do well frozen and thawed out. So I'm just keeping it simple with rice and beans, and then I like to send him with a package of mashed avocados so that he can add some freshness to it. Because I guarantee you he's not going to the store to get lettuce and shredding up the lettuce to put on his burritos. At least I would be stunned if he was doing that at 20 years old, but maybe. But anyways, I thank you guys for joining me here the second time. I'm so sorry things didn't go as planned the first time. I hope that you can come back here and you can watch this, join again and watch this and try these burritos yourself. Hey Joe, thanks for joining here. They're delicious, they're easy, they're versatile, they're a money saver. So we can prep 20 burritos for the cost of just maybe like 3 or 4 from the frozen food from the grocery store. So it's a great money saver, it's quality control, and you get to make it the way you like it, right? So I can make a batch for my son without any onions, and then I can make some with onions and some with salsa and some with jalapeno and some without meat and some with meat, and well, you get the idea. Make it your way. They're easy, they're delicious. And thanks again for putting up with all these technical difficulties. I'm so glad you're here. I'm so grateful for each of you. Have a wonderful Sunday.